Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Tonight, I want to tell you a story that may change the way you look at your life, forever. Take a deep breath. Now imagine this. Imagine someone offered you a mountain of gold in exchange for 1 year of your life. Would you accept? What about 10 years? Or your youth? Your health? Your family? Most people would immediately say no. And yet, every single day, countless people unknowingly make that exact trade. They sacrifice their mornings chasing success, their evenings chasing money, their peace chasing more, believing that one day, after enough work, after enough struggle, after enough sacrifice, they will finally live. But life is strange. Sometimes, by the time we finally reach the top of the mountain, we discover there is nobody left there to share the view with us. Tonight's story is about a man who spent his entire life trying to become rich. And he succeeded. But in the process, he slowly sold the most precious thing he ever owned: his time. This is the story of the man who sold all his time. Long ago, in a small dusty village surrounded by dry hills and narrow roads, there lived a poor young man named Elias. Elias was born into hardship. His father was a tired laborer whose hands were cracked from years of carrying stones beneath the burning sun. His mother stitched old clothes late into the night just to buy bread for the family. Their home was tiny. Its roof leaked during storms. The winters were cold. And many nights, hunger sat silently at their dinner table. As a child, Elias watched his parents suffer every single day. And deep inside his heart, he made a promise. One day, I will become rich, no matter what it costs. At first, it sounded noble. After all, he only wanted to help his family. He wanted comfort, security, a better future. But sometimes, the seeds of destruction disguise themselves as dreams. When Elias turned 18, he left the village for the city. His mother cried as she packed his small bag. His father placed a rough hand on his shoulder and said, "Son, earn money if you must. But do not forget to live your life while earning it." Elias smiled politely. But secretly, he thought, "Poor people always say things like that because they never succeeded." And so he walked away. The city was loud, fast, merciless. Tall buildings covered the sky. People rushed through the streets like rivers after a storm. Everyone seemed hungry for something. Money, status, power. Elias quickly found work unloading cargo at the market. The work was brutal. He woke before sunrise, worked until midnight, slept only a few hours, then repeated the same cycle again. But unlike the others, Elias never stopped. When workers rested, he continued. When others laughed, he calculated. When others slept, he planned. Years passed. Slowly, his pockets began to fill. He opened a tiny shop. Then another. Then another. His sharp mind and relentless discipline earned him success. People began to admire him. Elias is extraordinary. Elias never wastes time. Elias will become one of the richest men in the city. And Elias loved hearing those words. They fed something dangerous inside him. Pride. Soon, money became more than survival. It became an obsession. One evening, an old friend from the village visited him. "Elias!" The man smiled warmly. "It has been years. Come eat with me tonight." But Elias barely looked up from his papers. "I'm busy." The friend laughed softly. "You are always busy." "Yes," Elias replied coldly. "And that is why I am successful." The friend's smile faded. Before leaving, he quietly said, "I hope you remember that money can buy a house, but not a home." Elias ignored him. Years continued slipping away like sand through open fingers. Elias married a kind woman named Sophia. At first, she admired his ambition. She believed his hard work would create a beautiful future for their family. And for a short while, they were happy. Then the late nights began. The missed dinners. The cancelled promises. the constant absence. Even when Elias sat beside his family, his mind remained elsewhere. Numbers, deals, profits. One night, his little daughter ran to him holding a drawing. "Papa! Look what I made!" But Elias was reading financial reports. "Not now." The little girl's smile disappeared. Quietly, she walked away. Sophia watched the moment in silence. Later that night she whispered, "She won't stay little forever." Elias sighed impatiently. "I'm doing all this for you." But Sophia looked at him with sad eyes and asked, "Then why does it feel like we are losing you?" Elias had no answer. Because deep down, he no longer knew how to stop. Success had become a prison. The richer he became, the more terrified he became of losing everything. And fear is a hunger that can never be satisfied. Years passed. His daughter grew older. His hair turned gray. His body became weaker. But Elias continued working. Day after day. Year after year. Always believing happiness waited somewhere in the future. One more deal. One more year. One more achievement. But the future kept moving further away. Like a horizon that cannot be reached. Then one winter morning, everything changed. Elias was in his office when a sharp pain struck his chest. His vision blurred. The room spun around him. He collapsed onto the floor. For the first time in decades, the man who never stopped moving could not move at all. The doctors arrived quickly. After many tests, one elderly doctor sat beside his bed with heavy eyes. "You have worked your body beyond its limits," he said softly. "You may have money, but your health is nearly gone." Elias stared silently at the ceiling. For the first time in his life, he felt afraid. Not afraid of poverty. Afraid of time. That night, unable to sleep, Elias walked slowly through his enormous mansion. The house was silent. Cold. Empty. He entered his daughter's old room. Dust covered the shelves. She had moved away years ago. There, on a table near the window, he noticed something. An old crumpled drawing. He picked it up carefully. It showed a small family standing beneath the sun. A mother. A little girl. And a smiling father holding their hands. At the bottom, written in childish handwriting, were the words, "I miss you, Papa." Elias felt something break inside him. Not his body. His soul. Suddenly, memories flooded his mind. The birthdays he missed. The dinners he skipped. The moments he promised he would make time for later. 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 But later had quietly stolen his entire life. Tears filled his eyes. And for the first time in decades, Elias cried. Not because he was poor, but because he finally understood something terrifying. He had spent his whole life earning a living, while forgetting to live. The next morning, Elias visited the old village where he was born. The roads were smaller than he remembered. The houses older. The air calmer. Near the edge of the village, he found his childhood home. His father's chair still rested outside beneath a tree. Empty. His parents were gone now. Years ago. And suddenly Elias remembered his father's words. "Do not forget to live your life while earning it." At the time, he thought those words came from failure. Now he realized. They came from wisdom. Elias sat beneath the tree until sunset, watching the sky slowly change colors. For the first time in many years, he was not rushing anywhere. An old villager passing by recognized him. "You became very rich," the man said. Elias smiled sadly. "Yes." The villager looked at him carefully and asked, "Was it worth it?" Elias opened his mouth. But no words came out. Because some questions are too honest to answer quickly. After a long silence, he finally whispered, "I traded everything precious for things that cannot stay." The old man nodded gently. Then he said something Elias would never forget. "A man can recover lost money, even lost success. But nobody can recover lost time. The wind moved softly through the trees. And in that quiet moment, Elias finally understood the truth. Time was never the price of success. Time was life itself. From that day forward, Elias changed. He began visiting his daughter. He sat with old friends. He watched sunsets without checking clocks. He shared meals slowly. He listened more. Worked less. And though he had less ambition, for the first time in his life, he felt rich. Real wealth was never measured by gold. It was measured by moments. Moments with people you love. Moments of peace. Moments fully lived before they disappear forever. Because one day, every person on earth will discover the same truth. The richest man and the poorest man both receive the same 24 hours each day. And once those hours are gone, no amount of money can buy them back. So, my friend, before this story ends, ask yourself honestly, what are you trading your life for? And when the final chapter of your life arrives, will you be proud of what your time was spent becoming? Or will you wish you had truly lived before it was too late? Because in the end, the greatest tragedy is not dying poor. It is dying after never truly living at all.